welcome to New and In Between, hosted by me, Mia Quinn Maddox, where I'll be discussing the hows and whys to my journey towards my faith. I've learned through my highs and lows that this path is not mine to travel alone. Join me mid-journey as I embrace my wins, losses, and everything in between. Hello, everyone. Welcome to New and In Between. I'm your host, Mia Quinn Maddox, and this is my podcast. Season three. So for those who are new, welcome. To those who have been here, welcome back. Today I have a good dear friend that I went to high school with so many years ago, Torae. So we're just waiting for Torea to knock on this door and enter in, and we'll get this interview started. Nothing's really been going on. Work is challenging. It's been very, very challenging. Managing people is it's a challenge. Shout out to all supervisors and managers and leaders and people who lead other people. It is a hard job. So shout out to everyone who leads someone, moms, dads, starts there, and then teachers, supervisors, managers. You know, it's a hard job. It's really a hard job. So pray for me, everyone. There we go. Torea! Yeah. What's up?
How are you?
You know, I'm here. I'm here.
Are here.
I'm here doing a podcast.
Why your water?
Because
cold?
And
I laughed at my mother.
because I don't even think she'd be paying attention to me, like, and then she'll come and give me something like this, and I'd be like, where did you get these pictures from?
Yo, my mom's a screenshotted picture, but she won't crop it, so it'll be like, it'll show her battery
Yes,
percentage.
and all the
and
pictures
it'll
on
show
the
all
bottom.
I'm like, yo, what's up with you, bro?
Yo,
you
that-
can fix that.
That's my mom.
Or you can just ask me for the photo.
Yeah,
You can
that's.
just ask me for the picture.
I'm like, yo, where did you get these from? And why can't I see all of your
Yeah.
pictures on the bottom? I'm like, you better be careful with that.
Right, you put too much information out.
Sending that to people. So we're chatting, but I needed to tell everybody who's Torea.
Oh, are we rolling? Are we on?
Yeah.
Oh, let me get myself together. Who's Torea? Torea is Mia's friend, long time.
Yes, we went to high school together so many years ago.
It was like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
We just got out.
we went to John Dewey High School in Coney Island.
Yeah, for sure.
Dewey produced a lot of good fruit.
Yeah, for sure. A lot of us out here doing our thing.
Yeah, no, for
A
sure,
lot of
for
us out
sure,
here
for
doing our
sure.
thing. So I am a songwriter, recording artist, radio host, actor, philanthropist, recording academy, former president, trustee, now sitting trustee. I do a couple things. Coney Island kid. That's the most important. Coney Island
There we
kid.
go. What's up?
What's up?
So we went to high school together. Torea's a few years, not a few, but like
A couple years older.
a couple years older than me.
I'm your big homie.
You are a couple years older than me. But throughout this whole time, like I was in the music industry, you was in the music industry. We never really crossed each other's paths in the
Which
music
is
industry
crazy,
at all.
Which is so crazy.
Never.
But I would see your name and I'm like, there's only one Mia Quinn. That's how I know. I'm like, there's only one Mia, right? And so then this is because it's before social media, right? So you seeing names on stuff, like especially magazines and things that you may have styled artwork and stuff where you just see the name but there's no photo. I'm like, oh, this is Mia. You know what I'm saying? And then once like the social media stuff started to roll around and we got a chance to reconnect, if you will, I was just so happy to see you doing your thing.
Yeah, listen, it's crazy because social media, like Facebook, because what was we on Facebook? It was
Probably
Facebook first,
Facebook,
and then
yeah.
Instagram a little bit. Twitter, Facebook, Twitter, then Instagram.
Right.
But it's like what kind of connected everybody. But we never crossed each other's paths. In all the award shows that I ever been at, that
Right.
you definitely were at, like
Right.
all the things, it's like,
Crazy.
but I was underneath that G Unit wing running like a crazy
Right.
person. So no, we never crossed paths.
But the fire thing was, I remember some years later when I was like posting throwback stuff, and I posted the very first full spread that I had in XXL to show and prove. You did the G Unit cover, which was so crazy. So it was like a full circle moment. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It was like, even though we wasn't there, we was there together. You know
Yeah,
what
I mean,
I'm saying?
I did come to your bowling events.
You You did show. You did pop up. You did
and it's
pop
funny
up
because
and bowl.
you had bowling events, so I would only really see anybody if it was like an event or like a party, something that I could just come out real quick and then disappear for however long we were gone. But it's like you with the bowling stuff, and then now look, I'm in a full-fledged bowling league.
Are you?
Yes.
You nice?
I'm getting there.
You got your own glove?
I got my own ball. I got my own shoes. I have 3 balls.
Okay.
I did the summer league, and I'm in a sanctioned winter league right now.
Oh, nah, you for sure with it.
Yeah.
That's
so
what's up.
I'm like, oh, I've been bowling. And people, how long you been bowling? Oh, I've been bowling for a long time. Good? No. But bowling, yes.
Yeah, for sure. So, yo, I went bowling. I took my kids bowling like some point towards the end of the summer. Yo, and my son won the second game. I'm still not over it.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, yo, he beat me. I don't like
beat
that.
you bad?
Nah, just by. I mean, I don't know what happened. I got way too comfortable. I just wasn't on my A game. I'm not a bowler, but I'm really competitive. So I don't want my son to beat me at anything. Ever.
Yeah, no, it's funny. My whole family is competitive. My mother bowls with us. She'll throw her whole back out just to make sure we don't win. Like she's not playing no games.
Nah, that's what I'm on.
But my whole family's competitive except for me.
Really?
This is the first time in my whole life that I've ever played a sport or competed. Like I've never been competitive. In my mind, I just always thought that I was the winner.
Yeah, like what? There's no competition, Mia. That's why.
No, but in my mind, I really believe that. So now when I'm having to compete and I'm in this bowling league, and I'm like, oh, people are really getting mad that I'm like losing by 6 points.
Right.
Like now I'm really feeling bad that I didn't
right, because you got
get
the
that.
team.
Yeah, because I didn't get that. I didn't clean that up. Like now I'm starting to feel the pressure, and now I'm like, the lady next to me is like 70 years old, and she's hitting strike. Mia, what's up? Like
Mia, what's up with you?
Yeah, so I'm starting to understand the competitive nature. Because my nephews I have my 2 nephews. The youngest one is super competitive, but he's not playing. He want to beat his mother. He want to beat his father. He want to beat everybody.
Yeah,
like that kind of competitive.
I like that energy. So like you, not bowling, but with golf. So I started golfing, right? I was invited out to like this golf tournament. Shout out to my man Bova and JJ Barea. They invited me out to Puerto Rico last year for a golf tournament, but I didn't golf at all at that point. And so I went out there, I took the pictures and I water fit and all of that, but I really didn't have any skill set. So after the tournament was over, we stayed out there in PR for some extra days or whatever. And so I went on the course and I got like the fundamentals. And then shout out to my man Jose, he's taking me out to Flushing. And I've been going out there. So then just recently I came back from the Derek Jeter Invitational, like I think it was last weekend, matter of fact, in the Bahamas. And even though I was out there, I was like, I don't want to golf with everybody because I don't feel like I'm nice like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to, like you, I don't want to be like I don't want to be the weak link on the team.
Yeah.
And so, but then I was looking at everybody, that's like, oh, I'm golfing next year. Y'all not nice either.
Listen, see, you'll talk yourself out of something.
Yeah.
My mother plays golf and she's good. Like
Word.
she plays golf 3 times a week, 3 or 4 times a week. I don't know.
Be my teacher.
She is she's not a good teacher.
Oh.
She's competitive on that nature. Like even when she teaches us, she's yelling, straighten your arms. Oh, Mia. Oh, she makes
I can learn under those.
So unpleasant.
I can learn under those in that environment though.
Yeah, well,
because she's not my mom, so I won't take it personal.
Yeah, well, she's intense to anybody who plays with her. Because I'm like, girl, really?
Like, relax.
Yeah, but her and her group of retiree friends, they golf, and she's no joke with it.
Golfing is dope though. It's fun. For me, it's like therapeutic, and like you understand the skill. It's not about, you don't got to be the fastest, you don't got to be the strongest. You know what I'm saying? Like you use more your mental, you know what I'm saying? Like your mental strength, which is what I enjoy about it. And obviously a lot of conversations happen on the golf course, and it's just a dope day. It's just a dope day.
So now you're gonna be a golfer?
You know what I mean?
Did you buy?
Nah, that's my next thing. So I got to go get my club. So that's what I'm saying. Like I need to get with somebody so I know exactly what I need to do in next steps. But I want to take it serious. Like I take things serious.
So when you go back next year,
I want to win.
You could play.
Yeah, like I want to at least get in there and compete. But I want to win though.
Okay, they're gonna be like, Torea know what he doing.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So we'll check in then and see.
Yeah, we'll check in. We'll check in a year.
Yeah, there we go, and see if you do well with that. I mean, shoot, my mother plays that game. She don't care. She's leaving you. She don't care if you're at her house. I'm golfing on Tuesday mornings. I'll see you later.
I'm out.
So hopefully you get to that level.
There you go.
So let me ask you this, right? You've been in the music industry for a super long time. Right. And as long as I've known you, even from high school, like I've never heard your name misused or like anyone saying anything bad about you or any scandal, or as long as I've known you, you've always been super respectable, like just genuinely like a good person.
Thank you.
How do you maintain that integrity in this music industry that is vicious?
I mean, I think it's just got to be you. It's got to be in you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't allow this whirlwind, and that's what it is. It's like a whirlwind and come in and swoop you up, and you get caught up in it. You can't allow it to own you, to take over you. It's like you got to stay grounded, literally and figuratively. You just got to stay grounded. And I got a great upbringing. I have a very solid foundation and circle of friends.
Mhm.
My same 7 friends is my day ones from Coney Island. They all my brothers. They all my best friends. But they don't care about a Grammy Award. They don't care about a TV show. They don't care about a movie role. Like, they care as a support system, but none of it matter. Like, they still gonna tear me up if my, you know what I mean, if my shirt wrinkled, you know what I'm saying? Like, so they keep me grounded. Obviously my faith, you know what I'm saying? Like, just as much as God will give you, you know, he can all go away really quickly as well. And my mom, you know, my mom is somebody that I always look to. She's like, I tell people all the time, she's my hero. I seen her overcome so many different things and so many obstacles. And we have a super tight relationship, and she's super proud of me, and she definitely bigs me up, but it also keeps me very grounded and humble. So it's really from my upbringing.
Now let me ask you this. So for me, like, I feel like I come from a good upbringing, and I got put into the music industry, and not that I wasn't strong enough to be overtaken. I just feel like it started to change me, and that's why I was snatched out.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's so quick. You get all the money, like you're super young, you get all the money, you get all the exposure. Do music artists now have that same, like when I came into the industry, our budgets, like we have real wardrobe budgets. Like they were spending $2 million on a music video.
You know, so much money.
My budgets for clothes were out of this world. Like it's so, I know it's so different now because people are asking me to do a video for $2,000 all in. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Sorry. Like,
do it.
I styled long enough to create the lanes, and I passed the reins on, and I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
Like, you know?
No doubt.
But for me, I just, like, I witnessed and I saw so many come up, and I saw so many come up and come down. So many people not survive the music industry. So, you know, be given so much money and be so broke, and like, I need to know how you maintain, like how you just stay so cool, how you stay so grounded. Like, I need a process. Like, what is your day to day? Like when you like, what's your day to day to keep you grounded?
So as I've gotten older, I've implemented new things into my life. Like, I literally just came back from a retreat, and I learned this breathing exercise. And I learned about, now I always knew, like, don't jump on your phone first thing in the morning. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't keep it by your bed. Make sure you get a good night's sleep, things like that. But just like new techniques that I'm learning and I'm open to learning, like that's another thing. Is like, you got to be open to learning. You got to be open to trying new things. And so my day now is a lot less compounded like than it used to be. You know what I'm saying? Like, I value the time, and I make sure that I make the most of my time, but I also understand that the quality of time that I spend on myself is important. And so, you know, I mean, I pray, and I go to the gym, and I intermittent fast, and I check my blood pressure. You know what I'm saying? Like, I do the things that are important to me, because I can't do any of the other things unless I'm taking care of myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, my son is not in town, but I check in on him. My daughter's with me. So, you know, we have our conversations when she's around or whatever. So it's really like all of the other stuff is other stuff. You got to focus in on what matters. Like, songs is going to be hot. Songs is going to get cold. Outfits is going to look good. Outfits is going to get old. The hype of the party is going to be crazy, and then it's going to be the old thing. But the things that remain are the things that matter the most, like your family, your health, how you make people feel, what you do with your time while you here, you know, what you leave, what mark do you leave in people's lives. How did you make a place better than you found it when you left it? You know what I'm saying? Like, when you get to that point, and I've had things, I can't wait till I get a roll, or I can't wait till I get a Benz, or I can't wait till I get that condo, then I get that house, and all that is stuff. It's just stuff. And it's not a brag, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a blessing to have the things and be able to accomplish goals, no matter what goals you set, but it's just stuff. It's just stuff. Like, if you unhealthy, if you unhappy, you know what I'm saying? If you your back hurt and you know your heart hurt and you can't breathe, and or your energy is bad and people don't want to be around you, and people can't stand, or you can't stand to go and do the things that you need to do to earn a living. Those things will kill you faster than a speeding bullet. You know what I'm saying? And so once you get to that point, and it's a blessing that I've gotten to that place of realization, but once you get to that point, you realize everything else is just everything else.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I look at things like, and you're right. It's like when I was coming up, it was, you had to have a Chanel bag. You had to have, like, you know, the designer bags, the designer clothes, but it was different for us because you really worked.
Right.
Like, you know, you blood, sweat, and tears.
Yeah.
You bought your first Chanel bag, blood, sweat, and tears. You bought, you know,
Right.
it's like, you know, you got your first expensive car. It's like, no one sees the in-betweens of, like, you know, they just see the accomplishment, like, oh, damn, he got a Benz.
Right.
You didn't see all the nights that I was up, eyes bleeding, brain not working, you trying to write.
That part. Also, I learned from other people's experiences, and I think that's one of the best things you could do, is that I was always a first person learner. I had to go, don't go down that street, it's mad glass, it's mad bumps and rollers, mad potholes. What I do? Speed down the block, hit every pothole, flatten all the tire. You know what I'm saying?
What kind of learning did you just call that?
First person. I had to learn it myself.
Oh, okay, like hard-headed.
Right, hard-headed, or strong-willed.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Stubborn.
Strong-willed.
Yeah,
we like that.
Listen,
We'll go with that.
I only know because I get those labels sometimes, and I used to be like, what are they talking about? Like, I don't even know what they talking about. I'm not stubborn. And then I'm like, girl, you don't listen to nobody. Like,
What's your sign?
Taurus.
You're Taurus. Yeah, just like my Kimberly. Yeah. That's why I learned strong-willed as opposed to stubborn, because I always call her stubborn, and I learned to stop calling her that.
yeah, because you know what? I don't consider myself stubborn. I consider myself strong-willed. I've thought it through. I've thought about it. I've thought about what can possibly happen. So if you are going to lead me, I need to feel so confident that where you're taking me is not going to be wrong.
That's fair.
Because I thought this through.
Right. Nobody can tell you nothing, though.
No.
Nobody can say.
I mean, now I'm learning. I'm learning.
We get older. We try and live a softer life, right? A little bit.
It's hard to, you know, it's so crazy because I get into these discussions about the soft life. What do you consider the soft life?
It's just a phrase that I hear, and I obviously I hear a lot of women say it or talk about wanting to live it. But in the most literal term is like everything don't gotta be hard. Everything don't gotta be the hard way to go. Everything don't gotta be an uphill battle. Everything don't gotta be combative. For me, that's my interpretation of it. It's like, what's the easiest route, the calmest route, the most rational route to get from A to Z, to get to a new experience, to get to a realization without having to drive down that bumpy road
without
analogy.
Having to fight. I talk to some of my friends about that too now, because I just feel like as Black women, we always have to fight. I mean, look in The Color Purple. All my life, I had to fight. And I think we've all just taken that on, and it's always a fight. And I mean, I'm speaking for myself when I say Black women, because, you know, you got to be very careful what you say, because then everyone will be mad that you say it. We fight for everything.
No, for sure.
Like, I find myself like, and because I'm more aware of it now, I'm able to check myself and saying, like, you could just say yes. It's not going to make you look any less powerful, any less. Just say yes. Like, or is that really your problem? Like, That's my new thing, not my problem.
Not my problem.
I really think about it.
Great song, by the way.
Yeah, the super long remix is the one that I like. Not my problem. Pretty
9 minutes. 9 minutes, not my problem.
Not my problem. I have to remind myself, because I'm like, that's not my problem, girl. Say no. Is this gonna make your life easy?
Mm-hmm. That part.
But we fight. We've just been taught to fight. It's
innate. Yeah, it's like
you just don't know.
It's second nature, and you gotta unlearn. That's another thing. And like, I have friends that passed away young, and when you get to a level, it takes some time. When you get to a level of understanding, you get to a level of maturity, and you get to a space where you get to unlearn a lot of the things that you needed to equip yourself with initially to survive. Mm-hmm. But now you're not in pure survival mode. You can unlearn and relearn and readjust yourself.
With a girlfriend of mine, because I asked her, she's in this thing she's trying, everyone's trying to find themselves and whatever journeys people are on. But I asked her, I'm like, well, maybe you need to renew your relationship with God. And she's like, well, how do you know that I don't do that now? And I was like, I know you don't, because I could tell by how you act. And then sure enough, we're driving in the car and I'm like, listen, I gotta listen to my today was church. So I had to listen to what I was listening to. And sure enough, and that's what it spoke about. It's like what you learned as a child is not what you need as an adult.
Yeah.
And what you learned as a child sometimes does not translate all the way to adulthood. So if it's not working, right? How do you feel about therapy?
I mean, definitely all for it. I'm so open. When you have children, I speak for myself. When you have children,
How old are your children?
my son is 16, my daughter's 22. So that, I guess that really began my reevaluation and my relearning of things or unlearning of things, because my daughter, my oldest child, the way that she looks at the world was a lot different the way I looked at the world. My 14-year-old self was not her 14-year-old self. And so I got a chance to learn so much from her early on. As I was teaching her, she was teaching me.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like it was a mutually beneficial relationship. And same with my son. So now he's 16. His 16 is light years away from my 16, but also a lot of similarities. My point was that all the things that were taboo and not looked at as cool, or ways that we grew up, or things that I'm talking about even down to the words. I'd be like, I should, you know what I'm saying? Like, my thought was like, yo, you can't say that, bro. That's,
Ooh,
you know what I'm saying?
Don't
Like,
you hate when they check you on what you could say with
yeah,
an explanation?
but I had to understand that this is a new world, and the last thing you want to do is not be able to evolve and stay stagnant. You stagnant, you're gonna die. And so, just learning to be a new person to understand it. To answer your question, when I was young, I went to therapy for some reasons, and I didn't like it because the stigma that was attached to it. I don't want to go to therapy. One of my classmates saw me, yo, I saw you at the counselor, da da da.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Now I'm all for it. All for it. I'm actively seeking out a therapist for, you know, like this most recent 2 years of like life trauma that I've been through. And finding a good therapist is like being in a good relationship. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to vet it out. So to answer your question, I'm all for therapy. I think it's important. I think we all need to sit on, not just Mia's couch, we all need to sit on somebody's couch though.
You know, I mean, I seek it myself also. I go to a therapist and it's important for me because when I think that I have it all figured out, it's not. And then sometimes you have to talk it out with someone who does not know you from
Right,
nothing, who
right.
doesn't know your accolades, who doesn't know your parents,
Right.
who doesn't know your sister, who could tell you like,
Yeah.
does that really make sense?
Right.
Like, how did that make you feel? Or like, you know, someone who asks you things in the standpoint of like, I don't care what you think, like realistically,
Right,
like,
right.
you know, and then that's when you be having those moments like,
Yeah.
damn, I was being a jerk. I know I was being a jerk. Or,
Somebody gotta check you on it
Yeah.
sometimes though, and that's
Yeah.
fine.
I won't me at this point in my life, for my friends who I surround myself with, my friends or people that just anyone, if you do not go to therapy or if you have not been to therapy, if you're not even open to the idea, I don't even want to be friends with you.
Word.
Because I just feel like I have so many friends that are stuck in the past. And a lot of my music industry friends like are stuck in that point of where they were successful, their biggest success. I'm like, you talking about an album that came out 25 years ago?
Yo.
What? Or like, what?
Yeah, in the music business as a whole, the business is very archaic. It really sticks to what's worked, and it won't try to adapt to anything new until the old thing is totally felt falling apart. And it's like, you should be able to see the writing on the wall. You should have been able to go from live bands in the club to recorded music on 8 tracks, from 8 tracks to cassettes, from cassettes to CDs, from CDs to digital, from digital to streaming. Like, it's gonna keep going. It's not gonna go back. Now, you may be able to capitalize off of a moment and try to replicate it, but overall, it's gonna keep going. And so when I see people in the music business that do things the old way 30, 40 years ago, I'm like, some of that is dope. Some of that is good, but you got to figure out how to turn it into the new space, into the new world. And so I can see that they, in their minds, you know, because their workflow is like that, that maybe their home life is like that as well. So for me, I mean, I did marriage counseling, you know, and that was something I was against. I was like, well, I don't need nobody to tell us figure this out. We figure it out. And then I was like, we're not figuring it out. You know what I'm saying? Like, and my wife is, yeah, I mean, it definitely gave us a lot of tools that we were able to implement into our relationship.
And how long were you married?
15 years.
That's a long time.
It's a long time.
That is a long time. How do you do 15 years? Because, you know, for us now, like, culture is so different. it's so totally different, and the world is so into the culture, and there's a culture of I don't even know what it is, but no one values marriage, no one values relationships.
Right.
Everyone is, it's like a free for all, do what you want to do, it's, I hear it from just like my nephews. Like that's how I get my my know-how. 'Cause
Yeah.
I
Listen
have
to
a
the
conversation.
nephews.
They're 16 and 13,
Oh yeah, they're gonna
so
give it
I
to
have
you.
conversations with them and their boys, and I'm like, what?
This was going on out
I'm
here.
like, what? Like, what are you talking about? It's no, it literally, like, it baffles me. So it's like, to be married and be in the music industry, because it's not something that they condone, and and I know,
Right.
condone or glorify, or
Right.
something that, when people are married, they don't speak of it. So it's like, how did you come to that? Like, what benefits did being married, or being married, like, what does that bring to you? What did that bring to your life?
More so now, I realize. Obviously, I realized it all along, but so I'm a 7-month widower, right? My wife passed away from cancer 7 months ago.
Sorry to hear that.
The unraveling of my entire world, right? We was married 15 years, but we went to Dewey together. You know what I'm saying? We've been together 25 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything I've learned as an adult, everything I've accomplished, all the ups, all the downs, all the wins, all the losses, all the lessons, she was there, right there for it. So the benefit of it was, like I was saying, I didn't realize how much every single part of my life was affected by just another person being involved in it, until I had to start to figure it out, piece it back together, or understand what was done. There was so much stuff that was just done that I know you're gonna handle it, so I'm not even thinking about it. I'm not even worrying about it. And a lot of that, even in my career, like, I could get up and go on a 30-month, a 30-date tour. I can get up and go and be in Europe for 3 weeks, 4 weeks at a time, and not worry about my kids' well-being, not worry about if they're gonna eat, if they're gonna get to school, et cetera, because I got a person there that's gonna pick up that slack, that equally yoked, that yin and yang, like all of those things that you hear. It wouldn't be a Torea. It wouldn't be the Torea success story that everybody see me and I'm so proud of you, yo, you did it, yo, you stuck to your gut. None of that would be any of it if I didn't have Kimberly by my side, understanding what it took, going through the heartache, going through the tough times, going through the understanding, going through the broke days. You know what I'm saying? Like, sleeping on an air mattress days, sleeping on couch cushion days, to multiple cribs and things of that nature. Like, you don't get to any of that if you don't have the right partner. And I think that the people that we see that are really successful and really have things together do have a partner, do have a helpmate.
Yeah, I mean, I'm realizing that I talk to a lot of my friends about the independence that we've been taught, through broken families and divorce, and just all the things that our parents came from. Our parents instilled in us, be independent, make sure you have your own, make sure you work hard, make sure you get a job, make sure you can take care of yourself.
Right.
Those are your kids, you're gonna have to take care of them. So they've instilled in us that we're so independent that we don't need any, like, I don't need him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need help. I could do this on my own.
Mm-hmm.
I find myself sometimes doing so many things, and I'm like, girl, you are so stupid, because you could have just asked your sister to go and pick this up, go do this. Why are you being Superwoman? You don't get no gold stars. You don't get nothing. You don't get nothing.
There's no trophy at the end of it?
No, at the end of the day.
You're just tired.
And exhausted.
Exhausted.
I started asking myself in the morning, how do you want to feel at the end of the day? And I said, okay, I want to feel accomplished. I want to feel like I have peace. I want to be happy that I made great decisions throughout the day. I want to feel like, ooh, I know today was led by God.
Right.
Yeah, I might have made a few little mistakes, because I do still have road rage. I'm working on my time management, those little things that I catch myself with. But at the end of the day, it's like, how do you want to feel at the end of the day? And I be feeling so exhausted because I don't know how to open my mouth and say, can you help me? Right. Can you bring this? Can you do this for me? Because I would do it for anybody.
Of course.
And I have all these friends who, oh, no one does anything for me. And and I'm like, because you don't ask.
Yeah. I mean, we hear it, the closed mouth don't get fed. And so, but that, like you said, man, that comes from generations. That's not just something that you learn from your mother, that she learned from her mother, that she learned from, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's generations. I remember when, you know, in a relationship, you go through your rough patches. I'm like, if I was so single, I could do all the things that, you know what I'm saying? It's like, and now that I'm doing all those things, I was like, man, I wish she was here for it. You know what I'm saying? Not just to cook food, or I can cook, I can Uber Eats. Like that's a button press. I'm just talking about the little things, the things that just help, that help along your day that you don't realize. You take away 3, 4, 5 little things. Now you got a big gap that you got to fill. And man, it's like,
yeah. And then when you have that big gap that you got to fill, when you don't have someone, you're filling it with things and material things and
vices,
you know, you're in vices and you're chasing things, and we don't realize that we're made for partnership. And we've been taught to be independent, and it's why black men are like, oh, I'm not marrying her, I'm not giving her half of what. I have to sometimes I have to sometimes ask, like, and it's not being mean,
right?
But I'm like, you don't even have anything, right? Like, you don't have anything. What are you afraid of giving up half?
Right. What are you afraid of losing?
Yeah, I'm like, you don't even have anything. Like, you don't own anything. You don't have anything. And if you had to give her half, she has your kids. So what's the problem?
No doubt. But also, even if you do have, if you have amassed some things with the right person, you have so much more. Outside of the joy and the life extension that just being with a good person brings you, and the peace and the, you know, the sanctity that it brings you. But also, if you got somebody that's a go-getter and that's a hard worker, or that's going to help you pick up some of the slack and lighten some of your burden, that's just more. If it's about material things, there's more to gain with the right person.
Yeah. So let me ask you, you have a daughter. Do you think, would you want your daughter to date a man like you?
Ooh, yes and no. Yes and no, because the values that I hope she's learning from me, from just watching me, seeing how I was with her mom, seeing how I care about my sister, how I care about my mother, et cetera, et cetera. That part of me is a good part, that's a good stable person to be with. The dreamer, the run around, you know, we're going to have all this and this. I don't really know how we're going to do it, but we're going to make it happen. That part is, you want the best for your kids. You want them to be stable. You don't want them to go through the bumps in the road that you went through. You don't want them to go through the hard times. If you could shield them from all the bad in the world, you would do that. And so I know that a person like me, it comes with a lot of ups and downs until you hit your stride. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I'm just thinking about like my relationship. Like you saying, when you got married, if you get married and guys don't want to give up and you don't have nothing. Yo, when I got married, I didn't have nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, we went back to the projects after we got married. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, we took a little trip, but there was nothing to lose. There was no half for nothing. So like, I just want my daughter to not go back to where I was. I want her to start from where we are and go forward. And so when you're dealing with a dreamer, when you're dealing with somebody that kind of got their head in the clouds, even if they super talented, even if they super focused, you just know that comes with a lot of grinding it out until you get to it. And so, you know, I would love to shield her and protect her from that part. But my
What's
heart,
wrong with that part?
I don't want her to be in the projects.
No, I mean, I'm saying like the dreamer part, like.
Yeah, no, it's not that I wouldn't want her with a dreamer. I just would, like, I would probably overstep. I would probably be like, well, if y'all ain't got it, I got it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would probably be more involved in their relationship or marriage or whatever the case may be than it needs to be, because I'm not letting nobody not provide the things that I can provide for you. You know what I'm saying? And so that part. But I mean, if she like ultimately.
But do you think the strength of your relationship came from the struggle?
Yeah, but it's so different because as a parent, and I have this conversation with other parents who are successful, and it don't have to be in entertainment, just people like, we got it out the mud, we figured it out. We want to provide our children with a life and a lifestyle that we weren't afforded. And that's a catch-22, because my persistence and my go-get-itness and my intuitiveness and my street smarts and all of that come from growing up in Coney Island on 23rd Street, you know what I'm saying? Living in 10A, living in 2A and 10C and 11F. And
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, because it's forever ingrained in me, because we not finna go back. You know what I'm saying? but those things make you the resilient person that you are. And we sometimes feel like our kids don't have that edge because they didn't have to fight as hard. They didn't have to figure it out as much. And so you put them in the world, almost you feel like they may be ill prepared in certain respects.
So I say this to that. So my mom, for me and my sister, she feels like she can't give us anything. We have to work for it. We have to work hard. So she didn't put our name on the deeds of the house because she felt like I worked hard for this. Like, you got to work hard for your own. And that's the mentality that I feel like now watch my sister. My nephews are entitled, 1,000% entitled.
They're so
and I say
prolific.
entitled because spoiled is rotten. They're not spoiled. They're good kids. They like they're good in school. They're respectful. They're great kids, and not just because they're my nephews, but they're entitled. Like, my nephew knows that it was this summer. He's like, I'm not getting a job because he watches me work 70 hours a week. He's like, well, why don't you have money to buy that? And I'm like, well, Maddie, I make this amount, but this is how much I take out in taxes and and so this is what I end up bringing home. And he's, in his mind, he's not saying much. But when it came time to get a summer job, he's like, all right, I'm not working for minimum wage. They're going to take that much. I'm going to bring home $300. I'm not going to be able to buy anything that his parents buy for him. He's not going to be able to do anything that he wants to do because he does things on such a high level. He's like, I'm not working for, I said, I could beg that out of my father. And you know what I said to myself? I'm like, you're right. And I said, and then it's good that you have that ability, because you know what all he is as a 16-year-old kid? Plays video games. He has no stresses. He has no worries. He's not worried about having to get a job because he got to help his mother, or, he got to figure it out because, his parents have made it so that he could just be a kid.
Yeah.
He's a big giant. He's 16. He don't do nothing but play that game and get fly. He wants Balenciaga and Chrome Hearts, and he just learned how to drive. But I would love to see that my sister and my brother-in-law have worked so hard to be able to, because they're going to be a different kind of kid. My nephew knows that whatever he does, he's not going to have to work hard. He's going to use his talent, and it's going to work. Because look at these kids.
Right.
You got 7-year-olds millionaires from saying, I like this toy.
They figured it out.
This toy I love this toy. Go buy this toy.
Yeah. It's a different beast. It's a different game. So my son definitely gets a little more tough love, but at the end of the day, both of my kids know that I got them regardless. You know what I'm saying? It's like they not gonna struggle or suffer, even if they get up and work and have a hard day or whatever. Like, they know when all is left on the table, Dad got me. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I work hard for. To be able to do things and provide not only for my own family, but if I can be a blessing to others, you know what I'm saying, we're going to do that. But my kids know, like, to the end of the earth, you know, like, they not going to fail. They're not going to struggle. It's not going to be their reality.
Because you have all the tools to help them not. Because they say, oh, I want to, I watch my sister and my brother-in-law with these two, and I don't really, I know what I contributed to this, like, because they're very much into designer, but their parents also wear designer. Right. But all the kids nowadays are into designer.
Nah, these kids,
you go out, these kids it took me forever to get a Gucci belt. But you don't even wear, do they even wear Gucci
my camera?
belts?
What's this? You was so fly in high school, B. Like, you was fly ever since I knew you.
But I wasn't in design, like...
You had
was
poloed out.
She knew. No, my aunt Jackie. She knew how to shop Macy's. She knew how to shop Sale.
Right.
She knew how to shop. She kept us fly on a budget. Trust and believe, it was definitely on a budget. A black woman know how to take money and just make it into everything that she gets. So that was all on my aunt. Like, my aunt and then my grandmother was spoilers. On check day, we would go to King's Plaza to the Dime Bank, and she would take me to Macy's, and it was buy an outfit. You didn't get a shirt or a pair of pants. So I was like, oh, okay, cool. So I was set when I went after I came from Catholic school, because remember, I came from Catholic school. So getting dressed and seeing everybody get dressed and being at Dewey, because we had all kinds of kids at Dewey. We had all the black kids. We had all the goth kids. That's the first time I really had experience with, like, goth kids.
We used to call them the statue kids because they hung out.
Oh, yeah, because they in the front, yep, and played hacky sack.
Right, facts. Nah, it was a great mixture of a lot of different cultures and backgrounds, and you know what I'm saying? Like, the premise of the school was to set you up for the world, was kind of to give you an early college experience. And so, yeah, we had people from different walks of life. We had the hood kids from Coney Island. We had a Caribbean, you know what I'm saying, like influence. You had the Italians from Bensonhurst. You know what I'm saying? Like you had a lot of different things, the goth kids. So it was like a melting pot of a lot of different personalities. But you was always fly.
Thanks. That's my Aunt Jackie, my grandmother. I mean, you know how we do all day long. I mean, don't play around. You get fly too.
I mean, you know, we blessed.
That's how we been. Listen, also coming from Brooklyn, this is a certain kind of swag.
Nah.
And I mean, every being a stylist, I learned that every borough has its own. Definitely has its own flair, its own thing. Like Brooklyn, you could definitely tell a man from Brooklyn. You could definitely tell a man from Harlem. You could definitely, you know, from the Bronx.
Right.
I mean, I'm not really versed in the Bronx. The Bronx was rough, so I don't. Really
I'm gonna be nice because we on camera, and all my Bronx friends be like, "Why are you always going so hard?"
You don't. When you live in New York City, like the Bronx.
I'm so glad it's not me saying.
No, and I'm gonna say because it's so many people who don't live here who don't understand. So when they be like, "Oh no, I live in the Bronx," I'm like, "The Bronx? Oh,
you exist in the Bronx. You can't live there.
Good luck." And nothing to the people in the Bronx, you know, but the Bronx is rough sometimes. And my sister's my brother-in-law is from the Bronx, so I've experienced much of the Bronx. But it's just different from.
I love the Bronx. Shout out to the Bronx.
Yeah, I mean, listen, hip hop comes from the Bronx.
That's a fact.
We wouldn't be able to be in the world
without that.
If it wasn't shout out to the Bronx.
If it wasn't for the Bronx, you know what I mean? Shout out to the Bronx.
Brooklyn is it.
Big facts.
Right.
Big facts. You asked me something earlier that I wanted to go back to about the music industry and the money and where things are now. One of the things that I learned by example from watching other people was I thought everybody was rich. I saw the Dapper Dan suits, I saw the Mercedes, I saw the rope chains, I was like, oh, everybody got it. I was like, not only is this pulling at my heart because I'm passionate about it, because I'm passionate about the culture, but this is my way out the hood. And so I watched all my favorite artists, and then I got a little glimpse. I got a little toe in the water in the music industry, and I got my whole foot in, and I was able to open the door, and I was able to see behind the curtain, the Wizard of Oz curtain, and I was like, oh, this is all a facade. And from very early on, I understood that I wanted to put my destiny in my own hands. So when you was talking about all of the super big budget, like I seen my friends get signed to deals and get shelved, or they A&R leave the label and they in limbo. I've seen people put a record out and the label don't believe in it and it don't do what they're supposed to do and they don't get a second shot or they don't get another budget. And I just was like, I seen artists that had major success, but didn't own they publishing, you know? And so I started to learn about the business early on. And I also start to see some of the wins, but a lot of the lessons that I took from it. And I was like, I got to figure out how to make this make sense for me. And so even when I never had the biggest records, we toured. And even when I wasn't a household name, we was able to sell music and do shows because I found the independent space. And I was blessed to work with people who had all of the budgets and all of the looks and was able to have a fan base overseas. And I was fortunate, and I just want to shout out like specifically like my brother Master Ace, who, you know, is big in the European scene and took me on tour with him with Marco Polo and Moss and Addict, and DJ Premier, who iconic from Gangstar, but I did records where early in my career, and that made a lot more people pay attention. And DJ Eclipse out of Fat Beats Records, who put my records in stores early on consignment and gave me opportunity on halftime radio and gave me opportunity on Rappers Out of Control, which is really how I even got into doing radio, was from DJ Eclipse. But if it wasn't for like that trifecta, and that also includes Clark Kent, who taught me how to make records, and you know, Clark like, if you come from Brooklyn and you rap, at some point you got to go through Clark Kent, right? And so shout out to my man Speedy, who brought me there. And Clark would give 3-4 of us the same beat and let everybody go make a record. And whoever made the best record got the beat. So I understood that. But I learned how to be competitive but still be creative, and how to count bars and how to make records. And I got to shout out my man Six, and I got to shout out my man Sylvan, and anybody else that I missed. Blame the heart. I'll blame the mind, not the heart. But those names stick out to me because that was really like my crash course in the business. And just to close that thought out was that I knew it wasn't going to be the music business that I thought I was going to. I knew I was going to have to be the business and the music. And so for me, I learned early on, like, you got to make this $10,000 budget look like $100,000, look like $150. How do you do that? How do you use all your resources? How do you use all the people around you? How do you call in favors? How do you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't have the, Damon John got a book called The Power of Broke. And the power of broke was that you got to figure out how to do things without the luxury of throwing money at it. And so because I didn't come up through that route, I understood and learned how to utilize the business to the best of my ability. So when I finally was able to get to the money, it was like, oh, I know how to do this for half this amount, or I knew how to do this and turn this into 3 times what it's going to be. So now that the business is in flux, it's like once you got a understanding, the footing in it, you can be fluid in it.
Yeah, see, that's kind of, I feel like what with me when music started to transition from to digital, and then iTunes came, and then it's like the Titanic started shaking. For me, like, I didn't think that world would ever end. Like, I didn't know, like, and it's not that I didn't know, because I was doing movies. Like, I did my first movie from my closet in my boyfriend's closet. He didn't know I used to steal his clothes and take them all to, I can't remember where I used to go, Long Island, and dress all the guys was his. I'm so happy that all the guys was his size.
That's
And then
crazy.
I would take all his clothes, because he did he would work out of town for like weeks on end, so I would steal all his clothes. He's probably gonna watch this and know exactly who I'm talking about and who's shout out to you for that.
He gonna go back to that movie like, yo, I knew that jacket looked familiar.
Listen, all his stuff, all his clothes I used, but I was so resourceful and like super like resilient, and it was just different. And then I got thrown into the world of 50, and then it was like budgets, and it was like, I don't got to work hard. I could just pay for everything. Like, I just could pay for that. Oh, I don't need to source that. I could just pay for that. I could just do this. Like, I had money. So then when it switched, and then now everyone is like, oh, we don't have, you do what? Your rate is what?
Right.
Oh no, we doing 2,000 all in. And I'm like, you want what? For what? Not doing that. I'm like, I'm not doing that. It cost me $100 to leave my house. The toll, between the toll and paying for parking,
like literally,
it's literally $100. I don't even know how much the GW is, because I put it on my Easy Pass, and I try not to think about things like gas prices or the tolls, because I don't have no choice.
You have no choice.
There's no control. Everyone's complaining about. I'm like, how much is gas?
When they was talking about the congestion pricing and the gas, and I'm just like, it's certain bills, it's certain costs that I just chalk it up to. What are you gonna do?
Water, lights. Like,
what you gonna do?
Electric.
It costs what it costs. If they triple the price of water, what you gonna stop drinking water? You gonna stop using water in your house? It's certain things you just gotta pay for. So yes, I look at it like that too. But yeah, so I guess we were on the flip side of that part of the business, whereas you had an enormous amount of money to work with and budget to work through. I was coming from the. I would shop at Macy's. I would shop at Bloomingdale's, because I learned how to cut the tag or tuck the tag, wear it for the shoot, and then take it back. You know what I'm saying? Don't put no cologne on it. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you keep it clean, and then be able to
do that now
and return it. Because I'm like, if I'm in this outfit in the video, I'm not going
20 minutes.
I'm not going to wear it, right? I'm not going to wear it again, and people's not going to see me in it again. And if I'll tape the bottom of your sneakers or whatever the case may be. So it was like, I was figuring out how to do things on a fraction of a cost, because there was no budget there. You know what I'm saying? So like, now that the business is doing whatever it is, it's like, well, I learned how to quote unquote finesse it. And so it's not as difficult for me. But these kids is making a lot of money. These young artists, somebody's making a lot of money. Let me say that.
Yeah, someone's making a lot of money, but we're still not being taught how to deal with a lot of money. So when you get a lot of money, and then when there's a time and period where you're not getting a lot of money, then we got everyone going into depressions, and you seeing more suicides, and you're seeing ODs. Like, why are we doing drugs in the way that we're doing drugs? Because it's like, you get all this stuff. It's like, you get it all, and then the pandemic happens.
Right.
And then now you stuck, and now you got an overhead of however much your overhead is, and you can't pay those bills. And no one taught you, like, you got to save for a rainy day. And we think that it's not going to end. And even when you do save for a rainy day, the rainy day, sometimes the rain, maybe
it's going to rain?
Yeah, maybe it's raining for like 60 days. For me, I've been through a few storms, the strike.
Right.
No one thought we was going to be strike for 6 months.
Crazy.
6 months? Like,
Crazy.
so it's like, even those, you know, it's a gift and a curse. You think about it, because it's like you want your kids, you want to make sure that you always give to your kids, they're entitled. You want to make sure that you give them everything, but then you're like, damn, that struggle is what made me, you know, what gave me that. So it's just gonna be, for me, it's gonna be interesting to see how my nephews, you know, they do better than we do, because I know they're gonna do everything.
They're gonna excel because they got a unit. They got a core. They got people around them that love them, that understand, and are going to be there to support them in various different ways. And they're going to do it in a different way. It's not going to look like our struggle. It's not going to look like our come up. You know what I'm saying?
Not out of necessity.
Yeah, it's going to be a different thing. Yeah. It's going to be a different thing. But I think that, because it all goes back to, like I said, like your family, your values, what's instilled in you, your faith. As long as you got those fundamentals, all the other stuff is going to click. You know what I'm saying? And they have you, and they got their mom and their dad, and so they're going to be fine. Their grandma.
Because for me, I feel like, even for me, like just relearning my faith, because like I've always believed in God. I always had a faith system, not always attending church, but always had. But then it was like, you know what? I need to relearn this, like, because obviously what I needed then is not what I need now. And if I keep doing things in the way that I'm doing them, something ain't working.
Right.
So it's like, even just reteaching that, like little things, like my nephews ask, like, how do I pray? I'm like, wow, that's a great question, because how many of us, you don't really think about it. You think that you only pray at night. You think you only pray at church, or like you don't know that you could just, when I be at work in hard situations, I'm like, oh my God, please help me get through this. That's a prayer.
No doubt.
You know, but for me, I had to relearn all that so that I could teach them different ways. Not saying that my mother and them didn't teach, but we learned religion because we were forced to go to church.
Right. Right.
You know, you're forced to go to church. Your grandmother prays for you.
That part.
And after you get so old, they don't want to fight you to get you to go anymore. So then you don't go no more. Exactly. But you believe in God, you know, like I went to Catholic school. So it's like, but it was different until I like really went through some, like, okay, I'm in the trenches right now. What am I gonna do? Like that moment. You ever had that moment?
Oh, for sure. I mean, so like I said, like the last 2 years is the anniversary of my dad's passing was on the 26th, so just a couple of days ago. His 2-year passing.
What did he pass from?
He passed from life.
Like,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah, just hard living. He came from Nam. You know, he went out there young. He saw some things. So, you know, he just life.
No, I get it. My dad, same thing.
Yeah, life. And then in June of 22, you know, we found out my wife had cancer, right? And so that changed my whole world. And that was the longest and shortest 20 months of my life. You know what I'm saying? Like, her battle was a 20-month battle. And it was long because it was like every day was something pertaining to the cancer, the treatment, the doctors, the after effects, the side effects, the trial, this and this and that, going to this and this and that. We moved from Georgia back to New York, to travel to second, third opinion, et cetera, et cetera. So it was a long process, but it was short, because from the time we found out till, you know, the time we had her service, it seemed like a blink of an eye. But when my wife passed, and we did it at the church we were married in. We did it at the church that we fellowshipped in, that we were members in. So being back there, I hadn't been in that church in a long time, right? Because my life got all great and I had everything I needed, and I wasn't in church like I was at one point. And so doing it there and having, you know, Bishop Hobbs do the service, and having, you know, Coney Island Cathedral be there, and I was like, wow, I haven't been in this space in a really, really long time. But also I was very upset with God in that moment, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, of all people, why her, why our family, how did this happen to us? And so from the time my wife passed and we buried her, I mean, to have her service, I didn't go to church for 2 months, right? I went to church on Mother's Day because it was my daughter's first Mother's Day without her mom. And I was like, if you will, I would like for you to come to church with me on Mother's Day. I think it'd be good for both of us. This is my first time not having your mom here on Mother's Day in 22 years since she's been a mom, and it'll be your first Mother's Day without her. And long story short, something ended up going down. My daughter didn't make it, but I still decided to go. And from that moment on, I've been there every Sunday, with the exception of me traveling for work and doing things. I've been there every Sunday. And when I got reinstated, Bishop Hobbs said something really poignant. He was like, a lot of people look and say, oh, Torea's back. And it's like, you're not back. Back is this way. You're moving forward in your relationship with God. And I thought it was so prolific because it's like, oh, I'm back. It's like, nah, you're not back. You're moving forward. Like, this is what needed to transpire to bring you back into your relationship with the Lord. And I still don't understand it, but that anger and that pain and that hurt and all of the different feelings and emotions that I still go through.
I mean, it's part of grief. I don't think there's ever an end to grief. I think you learn how to manage it.
You just learn how to take it. It's ebbs and flows. Like people say, yo, how's your day? And I'm like, the day is too long. You know, I go moment by moment.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like right now I'm here and I'm in this conversation with you, but I might sit in the car and cry for an hour when I leave. You know what I'm saying? And that's fine. And I'm okay with that. But being back in my relationship with God helps me to manage it all. And that's, you know, it's like, you could have gave me another way to get back in, but I understand that.
To choose.
I understand that the journey is not for me to decide; it's for me to live through. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no. I mean, it makes a lot of sense because even for myself, like, I know, I revisit old friends and stuff, and then I'm like, oh my God, why did I do this? Like, why did I do this? And I'm like, girl, like, life is so easy. You get to choose. Like, you get up in the morning and you get to choose. I'm going to have a good day. And if no matter what, like even me, I have bad moments. Might have a few bad hours. I don't tell them I'm having a bad day. I don't know what the rest of the day is going to hold. I'm having a bad morning. I'm having a bad couple of hours. Give me a second, a bad couple of moments because I'm not labeling my whole whole day. I get to choose, and I still get to choose in the bad moments if I'm going to am I going to let this little stupid thing ruin my whole day and just take me down the rabbit hole, or am I going to bounce back? All right, cool. And then my days be good. And then that's when I revert back to, how do you want to feel at the end of the day? Do you want to feel defeated and exhausted and, oh my God? No.
Nah, it's a choice though. So somebody says something to me and they put it in like a really layman's term, simple. And I think it's beneficial if I say it here. You got 24 hours in a day, right? So look at your 24 hours and say it was 24 million. 24 million, you got $24 million in the bank now, right? So somebody piss you off for 30 minutes out your day, right? So you break that down to, what's that, $30,000? Right? So now you're 30,000. Somebody pissed me off at 30 minutes of my day, so now my whole day is shot. So you're going to blow that $30,000. You're going to throw the whole 24 million away? Because somebody stole 30,000 from you?
I mean, that's how you got to put it to people because they
think
those
if you think it right, because that's really what it boils down to. You got 24 hours in this day, and even if you cut it in half and say, oh, I'll sleep 8 hours of this and that, you still got these 16 or whatever the case may be. Is you going to throw the rest of your day away? You're going to throw the other 16 million away because somebody
those 8 are important because it's how you sleep.
It's how you rest.
Well, do you rest well?
Right.
Are you tossing and turning? Are you
restless?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people are like,
sure.
I'm like, I know I go to sleep at night. I wake up. I'm happy to be me. I go to bed happy to be me. There's not a lot of people like that.
For sure.
So for me, I'm like, even my sleep time is important to me. It's part of my self-care.
Definitely.
Don't mess with my sleep. Let me just rest because it just makes for me to be a better person when I'm well rested. And I don't need to have 12 hours of sleep, but let me rest.
Let you rest.
Yeah.
It's important. So like as much as I try to eat clean and drink water and go to the gym and be healthy, I wasn't sleeping because that's the grind. That's the New York grind. That's the music business grind. That's the rapper grind. You know, like people, sleep is the cousin of death. You know what I'm saying? Like it's
sleep when you die.
Right. It's infamous in songs and all of that. And it's like, nah, like I realized that the rest and the recharging and the giving your body an opportunity to do this all over again is super necessary. You know what I'm saying? It's like you're going to get stress and high blood pressure and hypertension and your back going to hurt and, you know what I'm saying? Your mind ain't going to be as sharp because you're not resting it. You're not giving it a chance to decompress and then start over again. And so rest is, even though I still don't get 8 hours, but I make sure like I lay down, I get me some rest. It's just as important as going to the gym. It's just as important as fasting and drinking my water. It's like, get you some rest.
So what you got coming up? What's going on?
I'm going to say something that's so cliche, but it's so true.
What?
So I have plans, but you know, we plan and God laughs. So when I say like,
what do you hope for?
Okay, that's a better question. music. Like, people want music from me, and that's a blessing in itself, because I've been putting out records since 07, and so.
Are you happy with all the music that you make? Do you feel like the music that you put out into the world contributes to a good part of the legacy of our culture, or not?
Ooh, now we getting. My catalog, I am 90% happy with. My own Torea catalog. Some of the music that I work on, as a songwriter, I work with new artists, and so I implement into the music that I write lyricism and the things that I was founded on, but I find a way to do it in a modern space. You know what I'm saying? And so that part I'm proud of. Some of the subject matter, some of the content, as a grown man, when I turn on the radio at 7 o'clock in the morning, do I want to hear, like some of the stuff? No. But overall, I'm very happy with my contribution and what I'm able to do for the art form and the culture and music.
That's good. Now let me ask you, how do you feel about where the culture is now? Everyone's rich, everyone's beautiful,
Right.
Everyone got fast cars, everyone's traveling to Bali. Like, I mean, listen.
Take me.
Listen, and I mean, I get it. Like, luxury is, but to me, it's becoming a by all means. And when I mean by all means, it means all means of like letting go of all of your character, all of your morals, all of everything that we, our ancestors have fought so hard to, just even in segregation, like being able to go through the front door. Sometimes we don't even take that for granted. Like, we take that for granted. It's like all those kind of things. For me, I feel like I contributed. I made great lanes, and I've also created some of the bad lanes because, the materialism and the, just what I portrayed and not realizing how important my role was to other people, like how I was being viewed and the things that people picked up from me until I start seeing my nephews. My nephew is so materialistic, like it's next level, and I don't fight him because I know he learned it from me. So how do you feel about like the culture? Because you write some of those songs,
but you've also planted, because I don't want you to you gotta look at both sides of that coin, right? And also how hard you work and how dedicated you are and the hours that you put in and the dedication to the craft. Those seeds were planted as well. And so your nephew saw that just as much as they saw you telling Lloyd Banks to throw that Gucci jacket in the crowd because he can't wait to get.
No, I would never tell them that. I hated that. Literally. So there was a thing. It's like, I'm not that I'm too cool for school, but like at the end of the day, like I get mad, I don't stay mad. But they like to do that to make me mad. I would go through hoops and like I probably don't have kids because I've done sold my firstborn for pink Celine bag for this exclusive Gucci jacket that nobody had, that Lloyd Banks would wear at Summer Jam, and then threw into the crowd 30 seconds later. I worked so hard to get that jacket. Right. All the Pelés, like it was just a thing to throw everything into the crowd. Like
I wish I had one of them Pelés back. Good level.
Yo.
The original Pelé.
The ones that they make now is not quality. It's not like.
But I'm gonna still take one if y'all gonna send it. But that's not the point. But yeah, it ain't like the OG.
We were Pelés. Like that's it. Those big 20-pound coats full of studs you throwing into the crowd after I just had to
everything you had to give.
Yes.
Where
the culture is now, like and just in music and how much music does take. Music is very influential in our culture. So like how do you feel about where everyone's rich and beautiful and like what like
I do
and having children that are in that like you have a teenager.
Yeah. I don't like the lack of balance in mainstream urban culture. So I don't know what they do in young pop music. I'm not sure what they doing in young country music in the culture. I know what the music sounds like on the radio. I don't know what the overall culture is. Mm-hmm. But in our culture, like you said, everybody's rich, everybody's beautiful. I just see the direct effects of that. I see the BBLs. I see the girls dying on the tables. I see the guys going to jail because they swiping cards. I see the direct effect of what this materialism is doing in our communities, and that I hate. Mm-hmm. That I hate. That I is there's so much more to life than this moment. And doing anything to fit in and be in a moment. You see artists who had huge records, I don't want to call them names, huge records, huge careers, and then it don't go as well as it was going at one point, and they start doing other things to keep up with the Joneses, and end up in jail and end up throwing the rest of their life away, right?
Google that.
So it's and there's a few names, right? And it's so unfortunate
or
because
just seeing the ones that had so much money and then be broke
and not understand,
broke, real broke.
Yeah. Like when I say I learned from the guys that wait, you don't got no house. Like, wait, what? Like
driving a Bentley and you don't have no house.
You don't have no house. You don't own that car. You know what I'm saying? Like when that
they
car
got it from the car man.
When that car is out of 3 years out of season and it's the old car and it don't have the value and you don't got nothing and you put all your money into this thing every month and you don't own nothing, and like respectfully, humbly, that couldn't be me, bro. It couldn't be me. You know what I'm saying? So that part of the business I do not like, and that is why thank God I'm still here and thank God I still have a voice in it, is when I try to utilize my voice and my platforms to educate, to do different things. People ask me, oh, you was president of Grammys. What you do at the Grammy? Financial literacy conversations, health checks, music kids, giving money to people that was dealing with missing shows and COVID, and, you know, giving money to artists that don't have health care, can't pay their rent, things like that. Like
people don't think that that's a job. Like that's still a job.
Yeah, all of that stuff is, it's just so many things that I try to use my voice and my platform for to balance the scale, if you will. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I might have made a bunch of money off this song and it might be a little ratchet, but now we're going to take these resources and go into these schools and not just give away backpacks. We're going to give our time. We're going to have conversations. We're going to come back. We're going to implement programs. We're going to try to change the trajectory of someone's life. And so, again, it's all about trying to keep the scales balanced so that it's not just lopsided. It's not just one way. So part of it is a necessary evil to be able to get to this place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I get it, because some of the songs, I mean, and don't get me wrong, like, I like some of the songs, and it's how me and my nephews connect. Oh, you like that song? I'm like, oh, put me on to who you listening to, or like, you know, whatever. And it allows for that, you know, that bridge. But some of the stuff, I'd be like, what in the world?
That's just because we grown though, Mia. Because you look at, I'll speak for myself. It was no reason for me to be singing NWA records at 15, 16.
No, I did think that, because Many Men is that's my... I'm like, none of that has ever happened to me. I grew up in a house.
It's so good.
I went to Catholic school.
It's so good.
Like, but when I sing that, you be thinking that someone's chasing you with a gun. You listen.
It's great art.
It is.
Great art.
But you take it on so crazy, like music. You take on so crazy, and this is why I feel like a lot of us thought we were more powerful than we were, or like, you know, everyone was inviting a fight, and now you knocked out. Like you
do gotta understand the energy of that.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
it
saying?
does.
Like the energy that you
drive crazy when you listen to certain music. I know I put my foot on that. Let Meek Mills come on. Something Meek Mills come on.
Ride him
yeah,
out.
I'm like, why am I driving like this?
That's a fact.
Yeah, instantly. Like
it influences you. It influences you. But you know what's most important is to always give yourself grace and just allow yourself to learn from all of it. Because it's just a series of lessons. If you know it all, then your time here is done. So you got to keep learning. You got to keep evolving. You got to keep growing. And in those moments where you don't implement a lesson, give yourself grace so that you could do it the next time. You know what I'm saying? I think that's important. That's important. That's part of that soft life, is give yourself some grace too, but always strive to do and be better.
Man, I loved your definition of soft life, because so many people think that soft life means like being taken care of, not working. And it's not necessarily that. Like, you can have a soft life by just not fighting, and everything being a fight.
Right.
You know?
And being combative.
And I like...
And fighting yourself.
Yeah, and that's really what it is. It's not... You don't take... The joy doesn't come away from anybody but yourself.
Right.
You know... I see that in myself. Things that I'm like, girl, why you just don't let them go? Even in driving, just let them go. Like...
Yo, I'll tell you this. So we built the house in Georgia, 2017. Went to Georgia, you know, the dream, you know, to build the house, the front yard, the backyard, all that. driving in Georgia, the pace at which people drive and the haste or lack thereof is transforming me. I would sit right now behind somebody in their car and they don't go at the red light. I might do a little. I'm not heavy on the horn.
Cursing them out, like hand up in the air.
Yeah, I'm not like, bro, first of all, I have no idea what's going on in that person's life, right? So that grace, I'm extending that grace to other people. I know I might be in my car having a moment. I might be thinking about whatever's going on. So you never know what's going on in that other person's life. So definitely give them grace. But also, it's like, why get yourself all riled up, yo? It's fine. It's fine. It's okay.
Listen, I learned that
it's okay.
all the time. I'm like, why are you carrying on like that? He doesn't even know you.
Yo.
You cursed him out in every language.
Fight.
He does not even know you. Why are you so mad? Now you done cut him off and...
Now you're having to cut each other off contest on the FDR. Like, what is going on? Yeah. It's really not that serious.
Really, Mia?
But yeah, in Georgia, they be real calm. You be that light, if you not paying attention... They might let the whole light pass without honking at all. It's crazy.
That's also just being from New York. You're always in a rush. When you travel overseas, you walking somewhere. People are just walking at their leisure.
You zooming, darting, like you playing Frogger. Like, what's up with you? So what's up with bro?
In a rush?
Right.
I mean, listen.
Yeah, that's New York mentality and music business for sure.
And the life mentality, everything has to just go.
Right.
We don't take time for ourselves. We don't relax. We don't rest.
Right.
Do you say no to shows? Like,
yeah.
Is there a time that you be like, nah, I'm not. I need a break.
This is my no year.
Really?
2024 is my no year.
How has it been going?
Excellent.
Do you say no and feel guilty?
Not anymore.
No, you learn how to say no. Like, don't be a sentence. I'm getting there.
I had to learn that a no to something else is a yes for you. And you can't do anything. You can't perform. You can't be your best self. You can't be the best anything to anybody else if you're not being it to yourself first. So it's like, I was the person that people would come to for, yo, you got this person number, yo, can you do this? Yo, it's no budget, this is that. Yo, everything is no. I'm not even talking about the people that ask me for money. I don't know when I became the banker Torae, but you know what I'm saying?
Listen, people, I don't even know. People be thinking that the work you do produces more money. I'm like, if I made as much money as people thought I made, I would probably be a millionaire. I
wouldn't even know where I was at. I'd be gone.
Listen.
But when I do have it, I feel like it's a kind of multifold, right? I feel like if somebody asks you for something, then they probably really need it. That's just the way my mind thinks. It's not necessarily true. But if someone has to humble themselves to ask you for something, I'm like, oh, maybe they might really need it. And so I never want to be the person to say no, especially when it's family or somebody that's close to me. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like, I always try to do. There was also a part of me that's like, I don't want to look like I don't got it. You know what I'm saying? Right? And there's that part of the posturing and being in front. You know, like I'm on stage, I'm in front. Some people behind the camera, I'm in front. So being in front is like, oh, yo, Toy, you got two bands? I know you got it. And it's like, well, yeah, I do. I don't want to look like I don't. So I do it for that reason, right? And so, but I had to get to a point where like none of that matters. No, I can't do it. I don't want to do that. That's not worth my time. That's not worth my energy. No disrespect. But yeah, like this is my year, no, and it's been going good. And there was probably like 2 no's this year that I was like, I really didn't want to do that, but it was necessary. You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, I turn stuff down all the time. It's a luxury to be able to do it now because I do have a few different pots on the stove. So it's like I'm not contingent upon having to do X, Y, Z to make sure that these other things happen.
Yeah,
no doubt.
So now what's happening? What are we hoping for? What you got going on?
Here's what in a perfect Torae world, I put out music for a really long time. So people want more music from me. So I still want to do that because I'm still very passionate about music. But you know, like where my heart is at right now is in television and film. I want to do more acting and theater, you know, because I feel like that's a really, like if you nice at theater, I feel like you just the greatest. Can I sing? I go, oh no,
that's theater. Theater is full performance.
Yeah, like a little note, but I would put the work in to be better. You know what I'm saying? This is like all the 10,000 hours I put in writing and rapping and making music and learning how to run a session and all of the things that I never wanted to do besides rap. That all came with necessity of having to do it, like knowing that, yo, I want to be the best in this, I got to be well-rounded. I got to understand all the different mechanics of how things work. And that's the same work I'm willing to put into acting, you know. And so from
You've been in some things. I see.
I've done a couple of
gosh,
things.
yeah, look at Torea.
I've done some things I want to do more. I actually got a audition I just got yesterday that I'm gonna look into, so I'm excited about
My
that.
fingers crossed for that.
No doubt,
I can't wait to see your name on a call sheet with me.
Yo, I
mean,
hyped.
I wouldn't mind to prepare your costume, but I can't wait for it to be like, Torae, I wrote this. You gonna be number one on the show that I just wrote because I'm writing this bowling show.
I can't.
I be writing my
show.
Yes, it's a culture. That's a whole culture.
That's
like
fire.
Absolute culture. I'm like,
oh, and I know the league shirts is gonna be fire.
Listen,
I know the
I haven't gotten to that yet because one of the people in my group has a clothing line, so I've been trying to let him like do his thing, but he's about to just get kicked to the curb because I'm like, dude, we gonna have to be together for 36 weeks. I need a shirt.
I can't wait till we work on something. It's gonna happen.
It's gonna be so dope.
Well, we working on something now. So let me just say this. I'm so proud of you. Thank you for having me here. I don't know if we done that, but let me just take a minute to thank you and give you your flowers. And you've always been somebody that I admired and I thought was super dope. I mean, obviously, I don't care if the camera's on. You know, you fly. Had a crush on you. It is what it is. But also just, man, super proud of you. All of the things that you've done in the business, the things that you're doing now, your relationship with God, and the fact that you put it out there so freely for people to learn from and for people to understand. And us sitting here in this room and this whole thing is just like, it does my heart good.
I know,
man.
it's like real full circle. Because now I'm doing what you do. Like, you legit, this is what you do on the like. Remember, I came and saw you when you did your live recording of your podcast in, what was that, in Restoration in Brooklyn?
Yeah, we did Biggie.
Yeah, we did that. And then, I mean, I hear you on the radio all the time. I have Sirius. So I was like, oh, I got Torae. I was super nervous because I'm like, oh my God, this is what he does. Like, you know, you do this. This is
a conversation between friends.
On a regular basis. So no, I was definitely nervous. I was like, oh my God, I hope this is right. Like, you know.
Please. Nah, I couldn't wait. I couldn't wait to be here because I've been, you know, I listened and I started watching and trying to support it as much as I can. But just to see the growth in, what's this, your season 4?
No, this is my season 3.
3? Okay. Yeah, just to see the growth in it, and it's just fire. It's just fire. I'm super happy and proud.
You know, when you say like you grinded, you had to do everything. So everyone that helped me to this part, and now hope expires. So I'm learning that hope expires. Like, and for me, when people ask me for help, if I can't do it, to say no, and if I can, how long, how much?
Right.
Because it's important to let people know, or when your limit of help has completed, to communicate that. So now I'm like doing everything myself. Like, I'm doing my scheduling, I'm doing this. I'm like, oh shoot, I gotta set up my camera. I'm like, wait a minute, can you pull this back a little bit? No, I want this. Like, I'm like, I'm having to remember, like, okay. And I'm like, it's not I'm doing everything by myself. But if I didn't get to see my friends help me and do this and do that, then I wouldn't know the process. So I'm like, God gave this to me. He keeps saying, you a dreamer, and you keep depending on everybody else to do what you know you need to do with me. And now it's working. So we'll see.
You got it. You got this, though.
Yeah, listen, I hope so.
It up for me,
Thanks.
One time for the one.
But I appreciate you coming, taking time out your day in this dreary old rain.
It's all good. Yo, so Bishop went for like 80 points today. He was on fire.
Really?
He was on fire. I was like, oh, we never getting out of here, but it's okay though.
Listen, it's all right.
Yeah.
And it's funny because normally I book for an hour and the conversation lasts an hour. I said, nope. Last week I said, nope, it's going to rain. I said, let me do 2 hours because I want to make sure I get everything out of Torae, every single thing, all the good stuff.
No doubt.
Because this is what you do.
Thank you.
So how am I doing? Like,
you excellent. You excellent. It's easy. It's easy.
It's not.
This is easy for me and you to have this conversation. I don't know what pressures you put on yourself, but for me, it was just like, I get to see Mia, we get to talk, we get to have like, you know, we was on the phone like last week or whatever, but to sit down in this setting and know that there's a conversation that we're gonna have, and it's gonna go this place and this place and this place, but also just to catch up and we have a rapport. You know what I'm saying? So like, yeah, I'm just happy and proud.
No,
Sorry,
I'm happy that you're here because I also do, like, I wanted to make sure with this season that I always have a lot of women. I call my women friend. Like I did get my friend Nicholas Pinnock, who we had a dope conversation about Black, and he's
so ill.
Next level. Like he's such a dope human. He's really, really, really dope. So just like, you know, in my, as I'm relearning things and just stepping out and trying to find a helpmate and just being a helpmate to other people and learning men, because if you're not around them, you don't know. I'm like, I'm gonna bring in all the dope men that I know. Like all the dope men that I know that I've paid attention to over the times, I'm like, Torae is perfect. No, dead serious, because we've been in the music industry for a long time. It's a hard business to maintain your integrity. Like, it's hard. People don't understand that. You're put in situations and you're throwing money and you're giving power in a way that you can get caught up so quickly. So
if you're not who you are, if there's a little bit of wavering in you, it'll eat you up. It'll eat you up. And I do not envy women in this business at all. Y'all got such a hard way to go. Black women in America, black women on the planet, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then women, because I'm speaking to black women first, and then women as a whole, and then women in the music business. Like, it's just difficult. It's just difficult. It's so hard. So anytime I could be an ally, anytime I could step in, anytime I could be a voice, anytime I could be an ear, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's something that I've taken upon myself to try to do that, because I see it and I don't like it. I don't like the way it makes me feel, and so I want to be a part of the change.
And is that because you have a daughter, or is that just you in general?
I don't know where it comes from. I mean, it could be. You know, I had my daughter. I was younger, so maybe I've been like this for the last 22 years, or maybe it's just how I've been my whole life. But I know that I've learned so much in the last 22 years from being her dad, you know what I'm saying? And then 16 years with my son, like being a dad, a boy dad, you know what I'm saying? And that's a different life experience, and that's the different lessons that I've learned. But the things that I try to go above and beyond for women, not because I'm looking for any favors or any, you know, reciprocity or nothing like that. It's really just about, yo, this is not right. I'm going to speak up because I have a voice, and because I might have some people that respect me, or because I may be walking away. I'll walk away from this. You know what I'm saying? Like, and if that carries weight, then I'm willing to wield that to make sure it's right for everybody else. And that's important to me.
Yeah, I mean, it's important because I say to men with daughters, be careful how you treat other men's daughters. Karma don't always come back to you. It may come back to your daughter, but that's someone's daughter. That's like, even a man's, like, be careful, men with daughters, be careful how you treat other men's daughters.
Man, I had a conversation recently, and that was said to me, I'm someone's daughter. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, yeah. And I'm still sitting on that thought and pondering on that thought, because I haven't been able to come back to figure out how I need to address it to be the best person that I could be. But that was heavy on, yo, I'm someone's daughter. You know what I'm saying? Like, how would you feel if somebody was like that to your daughter? I'm someone's daughter.
You got to bring it to that perspective.
Yeah, for sure.
You know?
For sure.
I'm so happy that you came.
I'm so happy you had me.
No, dead serious. Like, I'm like, I got Torae. I'm excited.
Whatever.
You know, I was trying to get so Denise, what's her last name now? Denise. Oh God. She just releases red lipstick, Made Beauty, and I was trying to get the lipstick because I wear red lipstick all the time, but it didn't come in time because I was gonna be like, oh look, I got on my red lipstick from my Dewey alumni, but I don't. But I'm gonna.
What color you got on now?
This is Rihanna's red.
Oh, that's Rihanna.
Yeah,
red.
Rihanna does a red. Okay,
got it.
If there's one thing Rihanna got is like hands down, and I've tried almost every red lipstick. Rihanna got this red lipstick.
It looks
down.
good. It looks good. Your makeup looks great. Your nails, your fit, your whole everything.
I put a lot of thought into my nail color because I'm like,
me too.
Listen.
Just put the thought into no nail color. That's my thought.
Listen, to each his own. It's not really my thing. I like my nails to be painted. I don't like my man's nails to be painted. I want you to admire my nails.
Right.
And that's just my preference. So please don't beat me up for saying that. Like, you can't even have a preference no more.
I'm about to say it's your preference. You should be allowed to have a preference.
Yeah, you can have whatever you want.
Right.
You know, just for me, that's not my preference.
My thing. Yeah, I have my thing.
Yeah, I don't want. The nail salon is for me. Like, that's my self-care, my alone time.
I mean, I'm in there getting a pedicure though.
Yeah, that's fine, but I don't want that to ever be a thing that like me and my man do together. Like, I want him to go and do that. That's your self-care thing. That's my self-care thing. Because now I got to make 2 appointments. Now we got to talk. The talking couple in the nail salon, stop it. Okay, stop it.
Yo, we don't it. I need my own time.
Yeah.
Barbershop. I'll go get a pedicure and car wash. You know what I'm saying?
That's your time.
That's the self-care routine right there.
I love it. I love it.
No doubt.
So thank you for coming.
Thank you so much.
Please make sure you let everyone know what your Instagram is. You guys should already know who this is because
they don't care.
No, they do care.
It's all right.
Everyone who comes here, they care about trust and believe.
At Torae, Torae on Instagram, on X, You can catch me on Sirius XM Monday through Friday on Hip Hop Nation AM, on Rock the Bells Radio in the PM. And yeah, look for me in the TV show, movie, or stage near you soon.
Yeah.
doubt.
I can't wait. I can't wait to see you in theater.
Yo, nah, theater's like, I take theater so serious. Like,
yo, theater's the next world.
Because TV is, cut, we start over, we reset. All right, you did this scene, it was perfect. Let's get another for safety. All right, now we got to do it over this shoulder. Okay, now we got to do it from this point of view. So you get a lot of different shots at it. Theater is right there in the moment, real life.
With everyone.
All eyes on you. You step out, you miss your cue, you stumble, it's all there. What you gonna do?
No, we don't know because we don't see the marks on the stage. But what you gonna do?
What you gonna do? You gonna let the whole world know you messed up, or you gonna be a professional and keep going? So like that, for me, that's like the truest test of your skill set in the art.
I can't wait. I mean, I see you in movies now. I can't wait for your name to be on the call sheet for like detective something on my show or some wild like.
Yeah.
You know.
I'm coming to shoot that whole shit.
Listen. You could be the on the run person. I'm like, whatever it is, I can't wait to see your name on our course. She's like, oh my God, I know him. He gets good socks.
No. Need the good socks.
You get the good socks.
Thank you, Mia.
Yes.
And thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Y'all for having
me. So click like and subscribe. You know, and watch my last two seasons. Like, let's catch up.
That's
like,
right.
I love the new people. I love the old people. Sometimes share. I need you to start sharing these. Listen, I'm gonna chop it up. I got it. Like, let's get this going. I've been doing a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
I appreciate everybody. So.
Everybody that came with me, go get familiar with the rest of the stuff. Go check out the last 2 seasons as well. Because I'm here because Mia's dope. And if you love the dope, then, get with it. No one in between.
Thank you. No one in between. I'm Mia Quinn Maddox. Love you. Bye. Thanks, Torae.
Thank you, Mia.